it's something that you can touch and feel. It's not something like crypto, or I know lots of people that made lots of money out of crypto. Also know lots of people that lost a lot of money. Whereas with property, it is something that's physical, something you can go and touch and feel, and you can kind of forecast where it's going to be.
I tell my clients to do it, but you don't take your own advice. So all of my money is in my business, or it's saved personally for a move that I want to make from here.
And then off the back of that, we always have chats with other investors, other business owners, and they say, Arsh, we've got some pots of cash here, or we don't know what to do, or we're not sure, is this the right thing to buy? And as a result of that, we then kind of direct them the best way we think.
If your income is only coming through the business and you are generating an excess in terms of what you need to spend versus what your income in the business is.
Within property, you've got lots of different strategies. So you've got your vanilla, then you've got a little bit more aggressive strategies like multi-let. So like blocks of apartments, or multi-occupancy like a HMO, where you've got lots of people living in the same property.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to start to progress a little bit further, we see the natural trend that people always start with a buy-to-let, then they start going to a HMO. Then off the back of that, they then start thinking about doing some mini conversions.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys, to Founder Stories. We are here for episode 3, and I'm so excited to welcome Arsh Elahi. We've known each other for a long, long time.
Indeed.
Although we haven't always been in touch in between, but I guess a good place to start is when and how we met.
I remember where we met.
Okay. Really?
Bournemouth.
That's true, actually.
I came down for Ed's birthday.
Yeah.
It might have actually been my birthday, but we came down to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And that's where I met you guys.
And you were a DJ at that time.
Man,
I'm not sure if you're still DJing.
No, I'd love to. And we'll talk about it. The passion of music is still there, but just with kids, family life, business life, it really can't. It doesn't suit my lifestyle anymore. Coming in at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and then try to be up to try and maintain the kids and stuff. It broke. It kind of broke.
So maybe listening to house music is a passion now, as opposed to
I still go to Ibiza, but no.
Okay,
not
we can
DJ.
talk about that. So before we get into it, for those of our listeners or viewers that don't know who you are, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay. Always a difficult question when someone asks me.
I know, because you do a lot of different things.
And more importantly, I'm not one of these people that goes out and shouts about it. So if someone was to say, who is Arsh Elahi? I kind of try and say that I'm just a easy, happy-go-lucky chappy. And I do a bit in property. When I say I do a bit in property, I've been involved in it 22 years now. 22 years. So straight out of coming out of university, And I got involved in property because that's what my parents originally had an interest in.
Yeah.
It wasn't really something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But as it's evolved, I decided to move with the times, and we've moved from property to almost like building to tech. We've gone into prop tech.
Okay.
So we've got quite a few fingers in pies in prop tech, and so it's evolved. But everything that we do is all surrounding property. So
okay, so you have your own property portfolio.
Yeah, so got a property portfolio. We've got a property We've got 2 property platforms, completely different spectrums.
Yeah.
We've got a payment gateway, which is almost like a mini bank. It's not the Bank of Dave, Bank of Arsh. And then as well as that, I'm involved with a mini serviced business. So we've got some service accommodation, which is holiday lets. So we've got some places down in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Got some places, complete spectrums, Cornwall, Blackpool.
Yeah.
And
then
the
financial
exactly, and that's
right?
and it's just a case of what's come across and everything in between. So I kind of look at everything from a point of view: is will it make money? How sustainable is it? More importantly, how's it going to impact us?
Yeah,
and then we run with it.
And you now, I guess you didn't do this at the start, but you've gotten to the point where you help people who have capital. So, say business owners.
Yeah.
Are the audience of this podcast. If business owners want to diversify their income streams and they've got capital to invest, you have a business that helps people understand where the deals are as well.
We've got pretty much like a mini consultancy business. And then off the back of that, we always have chats with other investors, other business owners. And they say, Arsh, we've got some pots of cash here, or we don't know what to do, or we're not sure, is this the right thing to buy?
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we then kind of direct them the best way we think how.
Yeah. And that's so interesting for me because right now I don't do any I tell my clients to do it, but you don't take your own advice. So all of my money is in my business, or it's saved personally for a move that I want to make from here.
Well, we talked just before the starters about diversity.
Yeah.
So, it'd be good because I know we've got lots of common interests. Cars, watches, and whether they're assets or liabilities. You can tell me that.
Depends on the car, but watches, I think, are all going up in value right now. So.
Yeah, some of them have taken a dip. Yeah, some of them some of them taken a 15% dip over the last year.
Okay, you know more than me. But I think the point of not just having one income stream, because you never know what's going to happen, property over the long term is always a safe bet.
Yeah. It's something that you can touch and feel. It's not something like crypto or I know lots of people that made lots of money out of crypto.
Yeah.
Also know lots of people that lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whereas property, it is something that's physical, something you can go and touch and feel.
Yeah.
And you can kind of forecast where it's going to be.
Yeah, based on historic trends. So
exactly.
A good bit of advice for listeners would be, if your income is only coming through the business and you are generating an excess in terms of what you need to spend versus what your income in the business is, then take some of that and create assets that will generate an income now or in the future. And one of them could be property, but really they should have a whole investment portfolio. We call it asset allocation, some high risk, some medium risk, some low risk.
And that's what I love about property, is that you can actually have some low risk.
Okay.
You can actually have, so within property,
like a commercial property on a long-term lease, that kind of thing.
Well, within property, you've got lots of different strategies. So you've got your vanilla buy-to-let.
Yeah.
Then you've got a little bit more aggressive strategies like multi-let. So like your blocks of apartments or multi-occupancy like a HMO, where you've got lots of people living in the same property.
Yeah.
So that's kind of de-risking it, because instead of having one income, you've got 5 or 6 people.
So if one tenant leaves, your income's still pretty much there.
And then if you're wanting to start to progress a little bit further, we see the natural trend that people always start with a buy-to-let, then they start going to a HMO. Then off the back of that, they then start thinking about doing some mini conversions.
Yeah.
Where they buy, do up, and either sell or keep and rent and refinance.
Yeah.
And then they then start thinking, well, in actual fact, that went well. Let's start looking at pieces of land. They buy a piece of land and then they start buying one house. They build one house. Oh, that went well.
Yeah.
And that's a natural progression as a property investor.
Yeah. And I think everyone, I don't know any of my clients who are business owners that wouldn't want to get into property. It's just having that partner that they can trust, who can give them the advice or find the deals and kind of facilitate that. Okay, well, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves.
We're only in the intro, aren't we?
What I wanted to know was whether, I think that, well, so far we're only on episode 3, but I have a feeling that there's going to be commonalities over all entrepreneurs and why they got started. And one of the factors is you didn't really like being told what to do when you were younger and you wanted to do your own thing. What's the reason why you didn't just go into a corporate job? I know you had a good education. You're an intelligent person. So the logical progression of someone who goes and gets qualifications would be to go and work for someone else. How did you get started in property?
I knew, if I'm honest, I kind of knew when I was at university that I didn't think corporate life was going to be for me. So whilst I was at university, I also worked I did some retail. So I worked at like House of Fraser.
Yeah.
Not sure if they're still going, but House of Fraser. And even working there and having someone, the line manager come back and tell me, oh, Arsh, you've got to finger space this thing, or you've got to put that. I thought, you know what? I'm not sure if I can deal with this. I don't think I'm a good person to deal with authority. I think I'm a good person in general, but that authority figure, I just can't deal with it. And so, and then
you want to be the master of your own destiny.
Yeah, and then so we talked previously about control.
Yeah,
and if I feel like someone's trying to control me, I will instantly try and pull back.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah,
I try and pull back. But then saying that, we've both got children.
Yeah.
We've both kind of analysed our kids. Now, and then when I read up on some of the stuff, perhaps we were both on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Of ADHD, because that is a big part of the spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's definitely something that comes from childhood. Even with Kieran, my wife, if I feel like she's trying to control me, I'll push her away, even now.
Yeah.
So there's this thing of wanting to be in control wherever that comes from. Do you think that's because my father was an entrepreneur and then didn't want that for me, pushed me into a corporate life, and I went to KPMG. Your dad was an entrepreneur, right? He got started in property.
Yeah.
Do you think observing them on a subconscious level puts that into you in some way?
Of course it does. So many different levels. So it could be that, we've seen what they are. And let's face it, we've both got an Asian background.
Yeah.
And
so we're tight with money.
Yeah. I'm not as tight with it probably as you.
I'm half Indian, but still
but
Asian.
It's
accountant. So
accountant. Yeah. You've definitely hit the stereotype. But perhaps there's that bit of control, perhaps that old Indian man or Asian man still instilled in us. My wife said that to me. She goes, sometimes it's like talking to an old Asian man. And I get it. I'll take it with a bit of jest, but part of it is that. And we've grown up around parents that have, if we look at today's society, I'm going slightly off track, but we're too easy to throw things away. Yeah. And lots of it is marriages. Yeah. And so, whereas the old school were we're married, we're staying married. Yeah. We're here for the long term. Whereas, in today's society, something happens, let's just get divorced.
Yeah, or it gets difficult. And it's the same thing in business. Business for me is about small, incremental, patient progress. And you will definitely have times as an entrepreneur where it gets so difficult, you think, do you know what? I really can't be arsed with this.
I was there last year.
Yeah.
I genuinely was there last year. We'll talk. It was a busy year. It was a really busy year, but we have there's two types of busy, and I felt like last year I was a busy fool.
Yeah.
We were doing lots.
And you're 20 years into being an entrepreneur. So it's not like after year 5, you never have a hard year, right?
No. There's always challenges. And if you're not getting challenges, perhaps you're not pushing yourself hard enough.
And how did you recognize that you were a busy fool?
I kept looking and thinking, well, we've got lots of KPIs that we can look at. So key performance indicators, we can have a look at the number of properties that we were looking at, the number of offers that we're putting in, the number of offers that we're making, the number of offers that got accepted, how many projects we were doing. We can look at our occupancy rate. We can look at our cash flow levels. Yeah. So I was looking at it and think, well, hang on, we've done this and we've done that, but that hasn't materialized. So that's pretty much like 3/4 of the year gone.
Yeah.
I was really strict on myself, and I'm my own worst critic. Yeah. And my wife says to me, she goes, sometimes you just go into self-destruction mode. And like you said, when someone's trying to say something, I push back as well, and I move myself. So my wife keeps saying to me, Arsh, you're getting distant, come back in. And she keeps going, roll you back in. And that's good for me, because I need that.
Yeah,
otherwise,
for sure.
As entrepreneurs, I find that we have this mental battle in our own mind.
Yeah.
And once we start thinking about something, it goes off on a tangent.
Yeah.
And perhaps this is just me.
No,
perhaps someone that's watching this thinking, she's a lunatic.
Yeah.
But no.
I mean, if you're a true entrepreneur and you're in it and you've been doing it for a while, everyone's going to associate with that. For sure.
Yeah. So it's just, I find that once I have to keep trying to, sometimes there is a dark alley.
Yeah.
And if you go down that dark alley, it takes a long time to come back out the dark alley.
So having good people around you is what you need, right? To pull you out and also remind you of what's really important. Do you do any practices now that help you? Like, for example, I know if I get up and walk the dog in the morning, get sun in my eyes. I've recently discovered Andrew Huberman, the podcast, talking about not having coffee for the first 2 hours, doing a gratitude journal, just certain little practices that help me if I'm grateful for these big things. A good example is we live in this house.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful house, as you can see. And last year, I spent most of the year just thinking about we need to move.
Yeah.
Because I need a podcast studio. I need an outside office. I'm at that point now where I need people to know that I've got an estate.
Yeah.
And that will mean something. And then for whatever reason, I realized I have to be grateful for what I've got. I'm living in private development in a multi-million-pound house. And I'm not even grateful for it. I'm just looking at the next thing.
Problem that we've got, and I think everyone will agree that hopefully listens to this podcast, is that we're on, as much as we say, and I'm sometimes better when I talk, we're on this rat race.
Yeah.
And everyone's perception of success is completely different. So, for argument's sake, when I started property, I kept thinking, you know what, success. What does success mean to me? Can do what I want, when I want, how and who I with who I want.
I love that phrase. Yeah.
And then we also then started thinking, okay, and then we get the nice cars, we get the houses, etc. But along with that, we then start to think about further things. So the further the journey we go, the more that we want.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, my wife is really good at this, because she goes, how much more do you want?
Yeah.
And if I was to be honest, everyone wants like the super flashy stuff, but she goes, you don't need it.
No.
She goes, concentrate on what you got now, and go and reiterate on what your point is that concentrate on what you got. Look at your kids. You can wake up in a nice, clean, safe house, safe environment. You've got 2 children. Let's concentrate on them.
Yeah. Because otherwise the risk is, especially with kids, and I had some therapy a couple of years back where the therapist said to me, you know, you're go all the time and you are achieving, but you've got this constant thing of you're the provider for your family and you're breaking your own back daily thinking you're not good enough for them. But actually look at everything you've done for them, and all the kids want is time.
Yeah.
And you could go 10 years and they're 16 and turning around and going, you never came to my football match, or you never did this, or you never did that. That was a shift for me, knowing that all they want is time. And also last year we went on 6 holidays, I think, because a lot of them were pushed forward from COVID, right? Yeah. It's not like we go on 6 holidays every year, but we went to Dubai, and that was a really extravagant holiday. And we met some footballers and did this and that, went to some top restaurants. And we also went to Mallorca, did a basic football camp, stayed in a 4-star hotel, which I know for a lot of people is their 5-star. But for me, that's like, it was a budget holiday. Didn't cost that much. And when I asked my kids, both of them said straight away their favorite holiday was that Mallorca holiday.
Yeah.
Because of the fun, the times, the family, the environment. So they don't care about materials.
So same, my kids so we've got a house down in Cornwall, and we go to Dubai quite a lot. And if I was to say, which one did you enjoy? We'll always say Cornwall.
Yeah.
We'll always say Cornwall is because we've got the beach. We've got the beach, so they can just surf whenever they want.
Yeah.
And it's, but we take it for granted that they need X, but the reality is they don't. And, let's look at another analogy. Lots of people talk about on Christmas Day, everyone gets these great gifts, but the kids, what they actually want is the box.
Yeah.
They don't want the toy. They actually don't want the toy. They spend more time playing around with the box than they do the toy.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, it's the packaging that sold the toy.
One of my questions was like, what have you changed? Which is a nice link in your routine now. Well, what did you change when you got married?
Oh man.
Versus how you were working as an entrepreneur before you got married?
So,
like, what did your routine look like before you got married?
I'll be honest, life now is a lot easier than when I actually got married, because part of my journey, hope you don't mind me mentioning this, I've actually wrote a book called Boom, Bust and Back Again.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah,
as part of my journey, I nearly went bust. I was back in 2007, 2008.
Yeah,
I was fighting by the skin of my teeth to hold everything together.
Yeah.
So it's not always been an easy journey. And rule number 1 is that if someone turns to you and says, "Arsh, I've had a fantastic property or business career, nothing's ever gone wrong," I've just got to say, you know what? It's not been tough enough.
Yeah.
It's not been tough enough.
It's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. There's a point in my life where haircuts was a luxury.
Yeah, really.
And this was from going from being a property, let's call it a property mogul, if you want to, or property entrepreneur.
Well, everyone who's in property knows who you are. Right?
Yeah, so starting year 2000, then 2007, we got caught up in the hype in the market.
Yeah.
Got caught up in the prices. We were building. So we went through the natural progression, buy, refurb, and then buying. And then we were building like 200 apartments at one point. Wow. And then 2007, 2008, financial crash came. Boof. And we were now losing money. We were losing money, to the point of for every apartment we were building, we were losing around 15%.
Wow. So
if we were building, so the average for those that are not in property yet, average profit margin within a development is circa 20 to 25%. 25% is probably the premium. And in there, come 2007, when the banks were shutting down and the credit lines were all shutting down, we were getting 100% credit funding. Banks were giving us 110% credit funding at some point. So we weren't putting any money in to buy the land. We weren't putting in any money to build it. It's actually, you know what, Arsh, here's another check. Here's another check. And they were just throwing money at us left, right, center. You know, you've got to think 25 years old.
Yeah.
It was, okay. You know,
you were riding the wave at that point,
we were riding the wave.
Yeah.
And I was in a development company with me and two other brothers. And 2007, 2008 come, we had all these sites. So we had multiple sites. We had a site in Wolverhampton. We had a site in Kidderminster. We had a site in Brood. We had a site in over towards, what's just before Worcester, Bromsgrove.
Yeah.
And so we had sites, and we had lots of people. Our project managers there. We had project managers there. We had a team of 40 people in the office. Our overheads were here. And, you know, with developments, really, you only get paid once it actually sold.
Yeah.
And so now, let's just imagine that our profit margin is 20, 25%. They were actually being downvalued by 30, 35%.
Wow. Yeah. And they're fully leveraged.
Yeah. And they're fully leveraged. And then the bank came to us and then they said, what are you going to do, guys?
Yeah.
So I had to, by that point, my two brothers back then, they were fully leveraged out. So they had to come out of the business. And they turned around to me and said, oh, you know what? There's going to be sort of tough questions. And the bank, so especially people like Lloyds, Yorkshire, Allied Irish, we had RBS, we had all of them on our back. And it was really tough conversations to the point of thinking, we're going to lose it all here. It's all gone. Yeah. And not only that, in there was my father's portfolio, which had been leveraged against.
Yeah.
So all the stuff that he'd been working for
his last whole life.
Was on the brink of me thinking, what the hell are we going to do?
You must have been under so much pressure at that time. I mean,
sleep.
There's no routine then, is it? It's just get up,
and so
work, right through to when you crash out.
Literally. And then sleep was non-existent because every sleep was almost like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then I had my parents thinking, Arsh, what's going to happen? I kept saying, you know, all this stuff we worked for 30, 40 years, we gave it to you guys in good faith.
Yeah.
And you've kind of pissed it up all within 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back and I had to make some really difficult decisions. I had to say to the two brothers that had created the development company, guys, you can't be in it.
Yeah.
I had to cut them out instantly. And so then I had to leverage all the debt. And whereas people in property, everyone talks about interest-only mortgages.
Yeah.
I said to myself, from here on, I'll never want to be in that position. Never, ever want to be in that position where we're completely over-leveraged. We're leveraged 115, 120%.
Which you see a lot in advisors that run these courses for people on property investment. They're advising them, in my opinion, to take quite a lot of risk and get fully leveraged.
Yeah.
So if people come to you for advice based on what you've been through, presumably you're not going to be advising them to put themselves in a position
and unfortunately,
what kind of everything else they've got.
Yeah, and this is what kind of puts me aside to everyone else, is that I'm not here to tell you that you're going to you're not going to become a property millionaire within 5 minutes. I'm here saying that, you know, you've got to learn to run the marathon.
Yeah.
Be prepared for a few short sprints.
Yeah.
But run for the marathon. Or if you want, run for the Ironman. I'm an Ironman.
Yeah.
So prepare.
How did you get out of that? How did you reverse out?
So I had to structure all the debt now. So I took all the debt on personally.
Okay.
In my own personal name, and we structured it over from 2007 up until, and they said, Arsh, you go, we're going to have to structure this debt over 40 years.
Yeah.
And I thought, flipping heck. I said, I've got now this noose around my neck until I'm 65, 67.
Yeah.
I said, no. I said, I've got to restructure something. And I came up with a date. I came up with a date of 11th of 11th, 25. 11th of November, 2025. And I said to him, 23:59.
The time. Yeah.
I said, let's structure everything for the 11th of November, 2025, but 11:59 p.m. They looked at me and they thought, this guy's flipping crazy. We're structuring a debt level over 40 years to make it manageable so he's got some cash flow.
Yeah.
He's cut that he's cut that time frame in half.
Yeah.
Or even, you know, a lot further than half. Because what's he doing? So I said, no, we'll stick to that date. Why was I so specific on the 11th of November? You'll know this date because I think we've shared the same birthday.
Yeah, 24 hours different, yeah. I'm the 12th, you're the 11th.
Oh, no, I'm the 12th.
Oh, were you? Okay, yeah.
So we share the same birthday.
Just before your birthday, yeah.
So on the 12th of November, 2025, I turned 45.
Yeah.
And 11:59 p.m. on the 11th, I want to wake up on my 45th birthday completely debt-free.
Wow, yeah.
So I've gone from taking multi-million pounds worth of debt into now a completely debt-free, completely leverage-free portfolio. And I've structured all my debt in all my businesses to that time frame.
So the strategies that you implement now have enabled you to go from significant debt on
so we
personal...
went from almost like 120, 125% leverage.
Yeah.
Now, as we speak, as we record this, I think we're 4%.
Wow. That's incredible.
But I had to make changes.
Yeah.
I had to make some changes.
In the way that you structure deals and... Structure
deals, the way, I had to make sure that, you know, single lets were no longer a thing.
Yeah.
Because single lets are not going to dig me out that hole.
Yeah.
I had to then start thinking multi-lets, I had to start thinking larger multi-lets, how we structure these deals.
Bigger deals where you minimize the risk, but maximize the profit margin.
But everything but the banks, to be fair, even then, they didn't believe me. They thought that's absolutely crazy when I structured that deal.
Yeah.
And the guys said, she goes, I just don't know how you're going to be able to afford it. I said, well, let's have a look. I said, we've got a portfolio. It's bringing in cash flow. So let's not take that away because that ultimately that wasn't mine. That was my mum and dad's. And I've got other siblings, so that would have been in trust for them.
Yeah.
So I just said, let's not touch that. Let's utilize that cash flow to service some of the debt.
Yeah.
On top of that, we've got other strategies. So I started trading.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to only fools and horses time. I had to literally go and start trading, had to go and find stock and I had to start selling it. And this is what took me to my next business. So is
that what you're describing there? Is that one of the things that when I came to your office before you showed me, so you could go on Rightmove, for example, and within 10 to 15 minutes, you could find a good potential property that you could buy, either change into multi-conversion or renovate, and the rental yield or the resale would create you an instant profit.
So we ran 2 or 3 different lines together. So we ran through 2 or 3 different businesses together. So I run a 3-strategy approach or prong. Can I buy it? Can I sell it? Can I rent it?
Okay.
They're my 3 strategies. So I call them the 3 pillars for what I do.
Yeah.
So when I looked at a property, can I buy it for myself? What kind of income is it going to generate? How is that going to perform in my current portfolio?
Yeah.
If I can't buy it because it doesn't sit for me, my next strategy is, can I potentially, if it doesn't meet my requirements, can I sell it onto another investor?
That opportunity.
And then, and so this then becomes almost like a deal that we've packaged and we've sold onto another investor.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know at the time, but this now springboarded us onto to what we've got now, PropTech.
Yeah.
And then on part of that,
this is your app that you've developed,
so I developed an app. So if I talk about this, so how it worked was that, let's just imagine now.
What's the name of the app?
So the name of the app, believe it or not, it's quite simple: Property Investor.
And can you go on the App Store?
So you can go to the App Store. So you can go to the App Store. You can type in Property Investor, and you can download the app. So going back to 2007, I had to think of different cash flow strategies. Can I buy it? Can I sell it? Can I rent it? So we're still looking at buying, because banks would still lend money if the deal was right.
Yeah.
Then if it didn't meet my criteria, I kept saying, we're not going to waste any time because I want to monetize every lead.
Yeah.
So we then started to sell deals. But back then in 2007, the internet wasn't a great place. Yeah. It still wasn't as fluid as it is now.
And it's trustworthy.
So people exactly. So we had to do things manually. Yeah. Going back to the point of like text messages. So I would see a deal and then potentially I would text a few investors that I knew.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got this deal. Are you of interest?
Yeah.
And then they would pay me a fee for that deal. So that's what's called deal sourcing or deal packaging. So if it was worth 100 grand, I'd go and negotiate a discount on it, try and get it for circa 80.
Yeah.
They would pay me a 5 grand fee for that.
Yeah.
So now I started building up a small short-term cash flow business.
Yeah.
So I then started to go to the bank and say, guys, I've got a small cash flow business here. And we started getting that to a decent level. We're doing like 30 a month.
Yeah. But that's based on your expertise in identifying deals.
It was, yeah. So we will, at that point, we started to buy some stuff again.
Yeah.
Started to then trade stuff again. I've never ever gone, well, when I say never ever, I've done since 2007, I can count perhaps on one hand how many developments I've done.
Okay.
It's scarred me for life.
Yeah. The big ones.
Yeah, it scarred me for life. When I say that, I'm doing some conversions now, but they're not from the ground up.
Yeah.
We've done a couple of houses.
The risk of a large development is the economic market changes, the valuation of the property changes, you're too highly leveraged.
Yeah.
You can't move the property on once it's fit. Like, for example, this property that we sit in is 5 houses behind a private road on the most desirable road in Solihull. However, as I told you, these were built 4 years ago, and 3 of these houses are rented because they weren't able to be sold.
And this is a scenario. If you're sat on a development there, you've got your 5.
Yeah.
Now, 1 and 2 have been sold.
Yeah.
Now, number 3 possibly may have been sold, but then fell through.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, that developer goes from going from a money-making developer to becoming a motivated seller.
Yeah.
And I didn't get into property to become a motivated seller.
Okay.
I buy from motivated sellers.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be selling as a motivated seller.
Yeah.
And I saw that as a shift in our development company because let's just imagine you're building 20 apartments.
Yeah.
When you release 20 apartments, which are the ones that sell first? The best ones, the ones that got the best view, the best layout, the best spec. What you're left with at the end of the development, you're left with the crap that no one wants.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, they're my problem.
Yeah,
because
they're the risk.
Yeah, and then not only that, is someone comes along, let's just say we've got it marketed for 100 grand. Then all of a sudden now we're throwing in carpets, we're throwing in tiling, we're throwing in this, that, and the other. And what's all this doing? It's chipping away at our margin.
So can you do a development? I mean, I know someone who runs an accountancy firm, who's a good friend of mine in Australia, who makes more money from his property investment each year, double actually, than he does from his accountancy firm. And what he told me he was doing is almost finding the deal, finding the land. He'll go and find the cash investors.
Yeah.
They'll take it through to completion of the development, but someone else will buy it on at that point.
Yeah.
Who's an experienced retail seller and will sell the individual.
There's apartments. So many in property. There's so many ways of making money. So I've got lots of property friends that have built 20, 30, 40, 50 million pounds worth of property portfolios without putting a single penny in. Really? It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But if what they've done, they've identified the land. Yeah. They've then gone off to private investors.
Okay.
And got all the funds in.
Yeah.
So they've got the bank to leverage as much as they can leverage. So let's say up to 75%.
Yeah.
They've bought in another private investor to put in 25% capital investment. So they've built it. They've increased the value. Yeah. They've refinanced. They've managed to get all the money back out. They've paid the investor back. They've now got an asset which owes them nothing.
Yeah. And in some of your courses, because I know for one part of your business, I'm not sure if you're still doing that, was to run group-based courses for people to educate them in property investment. Do you still do that?
Yeah, we still do that. So we've got a training program called the Elite Property Tribe.
And so some of those, is that a community?
I've created almost like a mini community
like a mastermind type thing. And in those, the kind of strategies that you're talking about, which you must have so many of because you've been in the game so long, do you teach those?
We teach all that. So I teach. So at the moment, we're currently developing. So there's an office building that I'm currently converting to 26 offices. That's in Wolverhampton. And then we've got 2 almost, I'd call them like mini hotels, but they're all mini apartments within the building. And to buy those 2 apartment blocks, it's cost me £2,000 each.
What? To buy 2 apartment blocks cost you £2,000 each?
Yeah.
And so,
if you know,
do you keep that strategy secret, or do you
it's
teach
not.
that?
I teach this. So basically, it's quite a commercial strategy. So pretty much, it's like
I'm getting excited.
Yeah. So these are things called lease options. So for argument's sake, you can go to an owner; they own the asset.
Yeah.
And then what you do, you go and agree a price that you want to pay for the building.
Yeah.
But that price that you agree is the price that you pay. So you agree on today's price, but you may not then complete on the transaction for a period of time. So for up to 5, 7, 10, even 25 years.
So you can get your development done, get your sales made, and then complete on the...
Exactly.
I didn't even know that was possible.
So, yeah, there's lots. So the office block, I'll share this with you. Well, I'll be sharing it with the world in a second, but I bought this office block in Wolverhampton. So yes, I've put a fair deposit down on that. I've had to put 100 grand down on that, which is okay. But the reality is that 100 grand is nowhere near as much as then if I had to buy the building, because the building's worth, well, at that point was worth 600.
Yeah.
So in order for me to buy that traditionally, I would have needed to put, because it's commercial, approximately 40% deposit.
Okay.
6, 12, 18, 24. So 240, and then you've got your stamp duty, then you've got your legal costs. So I would have needed approximately 350,000 just to buy the building.
Yeah, capital, which most people don't have because it's either tied up in their business or...
I went to the owner and said, guys, I'll give you 100 grand now, but I'm not completing this transaction for 5 years.
Okay.
They said, okay, but I'm now going to take control of the building. I'll take over your mortgage payments. So I'll pay your mortgage, but I'm going to collect all the rent.
Okay.
Now, what I've done with that building is that building was currently generating around 50 grand. I've now got that generating nearly 98,000.
Wow.
By going in, doing some cosmetic works to it. We've not done any major works to it, uplifting the rents.
Yeah.
Making some enemies with some of the tenants by uplifting the rents.
Yeah.
But off the back of that now...
But they probably hadn't had their rent to where it should be for a long time.
Absolutely.
The landlord had just not...
We've had a couple of people leave and I said, you know what, that's fine.
Yeah.
And don't get too sentimental about it.
Yeah. As
long as we've got enough income coming in to cover the landlord's payment or the previous owner's payment.
Yeah.
We've now got it generating, will be within the region of 90 to 98,000 pounds a year.
Yeah.
Now I've had that valued now at 1.2 million pounds.
Wow.
So now I can now go back to the point of I can either sell it at 1.2 and give the owner the figure that we agreed, which I think it was 520, 525, something like that.
Yeah.
And I can walk away with 600 grand, or I can then refinance it, get the money that I require to pay the owner off and retain the asset.
But is that something that, so say someone's listening to this or they're watching it on YouTube, they're a business owner, they've got some capital saved or they've got some excess of capital being generated each month and they want to, which I would say is always a good idea, invest in something outside of their business. Is that something only you can do because you walk in and you're Arsh and they know you?
No, believe it or not.
Is it something that you can teach a business owner?
You can believe it or not, this is simple mathematics. It's I don't think I'm a clever guy. I think I'm just a straightforward, easygoing guy. I try and keep things simple.
I mean, I disagree with that, but I think being humble is good.
Yeah, but what I do, I understand is what's the incoming, what's the outgoing, how does it work, what's going to be my return. In the background,
you're doing another 1,000 calculations of how do I manage the risk?
Yeah.
What's the upside? What's the downside? You've done all of this other stuff.
I've done
consciously doing it.
Yeah, I agree. There's probably lots going on in the background. Probably why I don't sleep.
Yeah.
But in that respect, there's so many. Anyone can do this. And just give you an example. I had no intention of buying 2 apartment blocks in Blackpool.
Yeah.
They were just underperforming assets. And I'll give you a little tip. You could go on to Rightmove today. You can see quite a few guest houses being sold. Yeah. Why are they being sold? Because A, they're either retiring, they're underperforming, they're in bad shape or they're bad and they're no longer guest worthy.
Yeah.
You could do exactly the same. So it's exactly the same. You looking at a business that any business owners listening to this, you could look at any business and apply this same strategy to it, whether it's a retail business, whether it's any physical business. If you can see a business that is underperforming, you can add value to it.
That's kind of like what, I forget his first name, but there's Layla Hormozy and something Hormozy. His name will come to me after the podcast, but he's got acquisition.com. So he creates amazing content, does podcasts, does loads of reels. But ultimately his business turns over 700 million because it is there. You make a submission if your business turns over more than $3 million, I think, but you're willing to let them come in and invest.
Yeah.
And they're looking for underperforming businesses where they can go in and say, well, we'll change this, and this. You get it running again, and then it becomes part of your portfolio that contributes to your ability to make a statement like, my business turns over 700 million, which is kind of misleading because it's businesses that you've acquired that come under your group. So it depends on kind of
whereas here, I will, in essence, be the legal owner of the property. So they will be completely out of the picture, the owner. So it's slightly different in that respect, but it works. It works. There's so many people that are upscaling, downscaling, and it can work in any business, believe it or not.
How like right now, obviously, we spoke about having some of your businesses running by themselves because you've put teams in there.
Yeah.
How have you done that? How have you been able to start a business, say the training business, say the mastermind, or say the finding the opportunities? And like, how have you done that?
I'm a big fan of
100 hours.
I'm a big fan of tech.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of tech. So what I try and do, so the training program, so we've recorded, it must be hundreds of hours worth of modules.
Yeah.
And we use platforms like Teachify, Kajabi.
Yeah.
And what we've done, we've created, so it's almost become like an evergreen product.
Okay.
So it's no longer reliant.
Adding content.
We're constantly every fortnight adding new content in there.
Yeah.
So when people log into it, there's new content, there's more, and it's keeping them engaged.
And do they get guided through? So if they're a beginner, go here.
Yeah. So literally, it's and they've got almost like in any one cohort, I think there's like 52 modules, and all the modules are clearly labeled. If you want to look at this strategy, watch these videos. If you want to look at this strategy, watch these videos.
Okay, so for that business, it's not a case of you've actually brought in a big team.
No,
you've just used software, and instead of teaching the same thing over and over again, you're recording it.
And if
you're happy with that content and it's still relevant,
and that's it. The principles still apply. All we do is we keep updating it. And then I suppose from my point of view, if you were to look at man hours as to what it takes from me a week, now it takes about 1 hour every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And what we tend to do is that we have a live, almost call it, it's like a deal clinic every Monday in the evening between 7 and 8 p.m.
Yeah.
That's the only real time.
So they can bring their deals.
That's where they bring their deals if they've got an issue, or if they just want me to go and keep showing them that it is still possible. And I'll do it for them live. I'll find a property. I'll appraise it. I'll have a look.
So they can start to learn how to do it themselves.
Exactly. Because
with your other businesses though, so you've got the app as well.
Yeah.
I guess you can have a team for that, and that's largely a software platform. So it's you going in and instructing, well, I want it to have this, and this as updates, and then you have a team onshore or offshore.
So the app, I've got 8 members of staff. Out of those, one of them's in the UK. The other 7 are in the so we've got 3 in India and 4 in the Philippines.
Well, that's the same as us, kind of as a split. We've got, I think, 15 in the Philippines and 10 or so in India.
Yeah. So the 3 in India are the app developers.
Okay. Yeah. The tech that's the best place in the world, right?
I've been. Some people have mentioned other places like Croatia, and so I've never really gone over there. But I put it out. We had some web tech companies in India came to us, and we gave them a bit of a test on a couple of little projects, and they did really well.
And they're doing a good job.
And it sounds really bad because we're recording this in the UK, but when we asked a company in the UK to build the app, what they initially said it was going to be 6 months, took them nearly 3 years. So, and whereas if I gave the same task to a company in England and a company in India, the company in India would turn it around in a week. The company in England would take 6 weeks. So as much as I want to try and keep and shop local, sometimes it just prevents us from doing that.
I think now with the global market, my virtual assistant is in the Philippines. She's costing me about £500 a month for full-time hours. And she's incredible. And she's so grateful for the opportunity. And there's lots of progression for her. And so for her at her age in that location in the world, that's a good salary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she can see where she can go if she performs well and all of these other things. If I wanted to hire a VA in the UK, it probably cost me $2,000 a month.
Yeah. And the same with app developers. Unfortunately, when I looked to try and find app developers to work specifically for me, for one individual app developer in the UK, at a decent spec, not even at a high spec. We're starting at 75 grand.
Yeah.
Now, I needed 3 of these to start to get off the ground. So straight away, my overhead would have been 225 grand before we even made a penny.
Yeah. And so the app, just to be clear for everyone, if they want to download it, that helps people find these deals.
So just, okay, if I was going to be really simple about it and try and explain it in 20 seconds, just imagine if you're looking to buy a house, you'd normally go to a place like Rightmove, Zoopla, or On the Market.
Yeah.
Now, I've created a platform called Property Investor. You can download it off. You can either go to a website, which is propertyinvestораpp.co.uk, or go to the App Store, type in Property Investor and download it from there. And in there, all they are property investment opportunities. So if you're looking to buy a house to live in, it's not the right platform.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you're looking for a property investment platform where everything is laid out in front of you, so the description, what the property is, is it tenanted, is it non-tenanted, how much income is it producing, a full description of what the property is, talks about the location, it talks about the cash flow, how much cash flow it generates.
It's modelled, like if you
it's fully modelled. Also, what we've done is that every property is almost created almost like a business in a box opportunity.
Okay.
So off the back of that,
amazing.
You can look at it.
Back in the day, you just had to know someone locally that was a property investor as an entrepreneur and go and take them out for coffee, form a physical relationship, and then trust them. That's how the deals were done.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because, as an app, there's still that stigma in the, is this real? Is this not real? Does this property still exist? We get these questions every day.
Yeah.
Is this real? This seems too good to be true.
Yeah.
And the saying, if it's too good to be true, perhaps it is.
That's like when Uber came out, people didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
Deliveroo, where I get my Nando's weekly from, these kind of things didn't exist prior to that.
It's like we've got opportunities at 30, 40% below market value.
Yeah.
And people looking at it thinking, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is,
why
guys,
aren't you keeping it for yourself?
Exactly. But we're saying, tell you what, go and view it. You don't have to buy it just off a screen.
Yeah.
Go and physically see it. And then off the back of that, you tell me you like it or you want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we sell so many deals off that every month.
And so now, what does your work-life balance look like? Time with the kids? What does your normal routine do? Do you do the pickup? Do you do the drop-off? This is more for me because I'm interested.
Yeah,
right?
So morning. So my wife always says to me, she goes, Arsh, make sure you're there for them in the morning because sometimes I might have a meeting in the afternoon and I can't guarantee that I'm going to be there for the pickup.
Yeah.
So I always do the drop-off. So I wake up, I wake the kids up.
Yeah.
I'd love to say I go to the gym before, but that's one thing that lacks in my life. Is that unless I'm training for something.
Yeah, because you did the marathon, didn't you?
I did the marathon, done the Ironman, I did the half Ironman.
Oh, I thought you meant I'm an Ironman metaphorically.
No. I've done a half Ironman, I've done a full Ironman.
Did you get the tattoo on the back of your calf?
No, my wife said, no, she goes, she did that. She divorced me. So I thought, I did wait up for a bit, tattoo, divorce. No, I thought about having it everywhere. I thought about having it in places where it couldn't be found, but no.
I love it when you walk around. We go to this Welsh village where there's an Ironman.
And they've all got it.
And they walk around in the summer and they've all got the Ironman on the calf.
They've all got it on the calf. And I thought,
it's all right, you've done it.
Yeah. So
I've got the audience know you've done it.
Yeah, so I've got the medal for it. And believe it or not, that COVID came and cancelled the first. So I had to prolong the training for another year, another 2 years. I thought, oh man, that broke me. So training for Ironman is no easy feat because you have to go disappearing for 6 hours or 8 hours.
Savage.
Yeah, you have to run, then you have to swim, then you have to bike, then you have to run.
I remember seeing pictures of you on socials in really sort of tight.
Lycra. Yeah. So it was, and then I think mentally that kind of, I switched it off because for almost like 3 years, it was a case of Saturday morning, 5 o'clock, I'd have to go and swim in a lake. Yeah,
and you probably push yourself so far that now you're going through a period of backing off physically, and then you'll probably find something else.
I haven't trained realistically for 2 years, properly for 2 years.
We'll go to the gym. That can be a thing off this.
Oh my God.
You come with me.
Oh my God.
My thing is like, I tried CrossFit for 2 or 3 years. I really enjoyed it because it was functional.
Yeah.
But at heart, I'm just a vain individual. I like looking at myself in the mirror, and hence I love bodybuilding. So I like to bodybuild, and I have a coach for that, who's been amazing. And then separate to the bodybuilding, I'll just try and fit in a bike ride, a swim, and a run when my knee sorts itself out, so that you're keeping your cardiovascular health, you're eating good foods. And he's written me a diet plan. And do you know what? At work, I find no coffee in the morning, eating on a diet plan. So I eat exactly the same thing every day, apart from the dinner that Kieran cooks, which she lets me plate up myself so I can weigh it out. It just removes choice.
I'll be honest. I would love that. I really lack in fitness and food. If someone said to me, you say, Arsh, pizza. I'm definitely there. Burger, I'm definitely there. Uber Eats, I will skip everything and go straight to the dirty stuff. I can't deny that. I'd love to say that I'm in the best shape. I'm nowhere near the best shape.
But at the moment, it's like you said off the back of last year, you're still focusing on work, getting into a routine. I think at some point it clicks. What's the motivation? Then the motivation becomes longevity. Because right now you're not overweight. You're not any kind of health risk. You're cool, right? You're not a heavy smoker or a smoker. I don't think you drink.
No.
It's like you're not doing any of those things. So you probably are quite healthy if you went to the doctor.
Yeah.
At some point, I would say you'll probably look at your kids and be like, I want to be around when they're 40.
Yeah, of course.
And that'll get you doing
so
something.
if you said to me, if you challenged me and said, Arsh, this weekend I need you to run half marathon, I'd do it. Easy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be my fastest time. I'd definitely
it's
get around.
Accountability, isn't it? I guess the same with work. We spoke about having a mentor. I've got a mentor, Richard, who I see once a month. And because I know he's given me a list of 10 or 12 things to focus on for that
You'll definitely do it.
I might get them done 2 days before the next meeting, but I'll get them done. Same with training and nutrition.
So I've just got to kick that into touch. But it's an easy excuse for me, unfortunately, to duck the gym or to
so
eat
you don't
rubbish.
go to the gym. You do drop the kids, which is
I like to. So in the morning,
go to a physical office.
So in this 26 office block, I've kept one for myself.
Okay, cool.
So, but before I was working from home, and I hated that.
Yeah,
hated that.
See, I have a small shoebox office at the front of the house.
I know, but
I hate, but I don't hate it enough. So this is our dining room. If you're not sure, and you can kind of see. Luckily, this layout and the lighting, I mean, I added a couple of lights, but this was our dining room. If you could see the other side, you definitely couldn't have dinner in it. I've taken it over. But I just can't be asked to get dressed to go to an office and all of those things.
But I when I was working from home, I found I need routine. I need that routine. I need to be able to leave the house. I need to be able to leave the house and go to somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's been good for me.
So you have your own office there, you go and work from there.
Yeah. So I'll wake up, I do the kids' breakfast. Make sure that they're washed, fed, watered, make sure that they're all dressed.
And you've got girls, which is totally different to me. I've got an 8 and a 7-year-old boys.
I've got 9 and 8-year-old girls.
So different challenges, yeah.
Yeah. So, but we've got a routine. We've got a 3B routine: bed, blinds. So brush, blinds, bed. So they've got to make those three things before they even come out.
Win for them in the morning. It's a good practice.
Yeah. So they've got to do those 3 before they come downstairs. Then we do breakfast. And then, make sure that all their bags are packed. The bags should be packed, hopefully, the night before. And so we're out the door 8:15 without fail. And then in the car, we listen to their music.
Yeah. Oh, that's
nice. We listen to their music. So they have a full-on sing out. So we're into Shawn Mendes at the moment. We're into, I don't know, ever heard of this group called Kids Bop?
No.
So Kids Bop is basically this group of kids that just do covers of pop songs.
Oh, okay.
And it's kid-friendly. And so they can be listening to all kinds of stuff.
That's nice. My kids are listening to Dave.
Oh my God.
Skepta.
Okay. Oh man. Okay.
Stormzy.
Yeah. So
Professor X is their favourite song at the moment by Dave.
It's quite explicit.
Yes. But do you know what? I felt like I had this conversation with Kieran. They're going to hear it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like wine in France, I believe.
Yeah.
If you give kids wine at 14 on the dinner table, are there loads of alcoholic kids hanging around in parks drinking 2-litre bottles of cider in France? No. Why? Because you put wine on the table and you say, have it.
Yeah.
And then they'll learn to moderate their own behavior.
But I like that. I'm still trying to, if I'm honest, I'm still trying to protect their innocence.
If you've got girls though, it's different, isn't it?
So like,
boys are like, go on, get out into the world.
One of my daughters the other day, she goes, Dad, we can't listen to the song. I said, why? She goes, is it explicit? I said, what word is it? She goes, damn. I said, you know what? I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. I thought at least something's kicking in there. So damn for them is a swear word.
Yeah.
And then my other daughter, she goes, Dad, I learned a new swear word today. She came with me like that. I said, you know what, don't ever do that. Don't ever do it. Not at school especially, don't do that. So your cred will go straight out.
Are you doing like family dinners? Do you get together in the evening?
Every evening we have to eat together. So it's just that time.
And do you go back to the office after that, or do you?
No, I try to switch off. So I try at the latest I have to be home by 6.
Yeah, so
at the latest,
and then relax.
And then relax, and then you can watch crap. People say that you shouldn't be watching Netflix and you should be doing less, and you should be reading books. You know what? We do 2 hours a night of box set. If the kids get to bed by 8, then we'll do 2 hours. If they're having a late night, we'll watch something together. And I think it's good because it's just a way to switch your brain off. Yeah. Almost like a form of meditation. I see people keep saying, oh, you shouldn't be watching TV and this, that. No, I disagree. I think as an entrepreneur,
you need something to be able to switch off your thoughts.
I'm going to tell you something that's really disturbing, and everyone thinks that this is disturbing. What's your one thing that you watch that everyone thinks, oh,
they don't like it?
Yeah.
As in, it's
rubbish
or it's rubbish.
Mine's EastEnders.
EastEnders. Really?
I've been watching it from day dot, and I've never missed an episode.
Well, your commitment is commendable, right?
Yeah, if I missed it, I'll catch up on BBC.
I think the things that I watch are bodybuilding vlogs on YouTube.
Okay.
So I'll have probably watched about 300 upper body workouts on YouTube, but I'll still go on the Stairmaster. And instead of watching a box set or something like that, I'll just put workout video into YouTube and I'll watch it.
Okay.
So I think that's probably it.
And I'll just start. So whenever we sit down, if I've got to catch up on these numbers first, it's crazy. So and then we'll watch.
That's all right. Everyone knows how much. It's got to make some in your credit. It's good to not be too cool.
I've learned a few things off EastEnders.
It's good to not be too cool.
I've learned there's lots of HMOs in EastEnders because let's face it, they all live together, don't they?
Oh yeah,
they all live together, but they're not classified as a HMO. They just bring someone in off the street and then move them in.
Yeah, that's right, and don't declare it.
They don't declare it yet. There's no tax. No talk about tax on EastEnders. We haven't noticed. So yeah, it's crazy.
How important is it? Start wrapping up. I mean, we could talk all day, but how important is it to understand your own finances and your own cash flow when you're trying to scale a property business?
Oh man, yeah, because it's very easy just to get carried away. And so, these projects I'm doing right now, I kind of had a scare moment the other day thinking, well, in actual fact, I haven't bought these things yet, but I've still got a financial commitment to the owner.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay, let's say, a couple of grand a month on each of those. So that's 4, and then I've got the office building. So but then I have to think, what's coming in here, what's coming in there? And I have to then kind of think, okay, what's going on? What's my asset?
You balance it. And do you have big spreadsheets or like, how do you keep on top of it?
Well, we use, so with property, you can get like management software. So it's a
Specialty specific, kind of like accounting software.
Yeah, it's account software. So we use Sage as well. So, and it allows me to see what's coming, what's going out, and kind of understand where we are.
Yeah, because I'm not a GrowFactor client, which I like because I don't really want friends or close friends to be clients in an ideal world. Because I did apply that separation.
So I get lots of friends that come to me and said, "Could I let your property bills?" And
yeah, I mean, it's not worth it. You have a situation where you're having a fee discussion or something hasn't been done on time, or your friend who's your client is not getting you the information. It's just not. I just don't think it's worth it. We had a lot of property clients, and I think I agree. Having property specific accounting software, having regular bookkeeping, understanding your cash flow, but more importantly, you've built up a relationship with your accountant. I'm sure that's spanned over the long term.
Yeah.
So you built up trust. They understand you. It's a family business. They're invested in you.
Yeah.
And you can ring them up and have a conversation about something without them sending you a bill.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That dialogue, I think, is super important for a business owner to have an accountant. It doesn't have to be GrowFactor, but have someone that will support you without charging you and understands your industry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what we've got in ours, so I've got some Philippine bookkeepers
to keep your stuff up to date.
They keep that almost like daily.
Yeah.
They keep stuff up to date. And then we've just got a lady in the UK that checks, make sure that that's okay. Yeah, she pays, works on an hourly basis, so that's fine. And then it just goes to the, so she submits all the VAT and stuff like that.
Yes,
And it turns
you're
out
big enough now that you've built, like with our clients, if they get to a certain size, let's say 5 to 10 mil turnover, we'll then help them build their own internal finance.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're smaller than that, but they're in a business model like yours where there's so many different properties and lots of moving parts and paperwork from builders and all these other things. And in that scenario, you can't have a fully outsourced, fully remote.
I mean, to be fair, receipts.
Yeah.
It's wicked now because, when an invoice comes in, literally, if it comes on an email, the VA picks it up, puts it in the place.
Yeah. The software scans it, takes all the information, puts it in so the accounting system.
It's quite cool. That's the tech part of me that kind of, when it works, it works well.
I love those accounts. I mean, I'm not doing the day-to-day now, but there's a thing now called Fetch by Dex, which if you give it, say, your Vodafone login, it will go and take your mobile phone bill. Yeah. It'll go and find the bank statement line that relates to that mobile phone bill. Matches So it does the bookkeeping for you. Okay, enough on accounting. If you were going to share 3, this is my final point. If you were going to share 3 keys to success, first one for someone who hasn't invested in properties yet, but wants to get started, what would that be?
Okay. Do it. The reason why I say do it is that it's it's hard to fail in property. It is quite difficult to fail in property because there's so many different trigger points. You can calculate property to the nth degree. You can say, well, what your outcome is going to be because that's going to be the mortgage map or the rent that you pay to whoever.
Yeah.
If you do a more strategic strategy. And then you know what your income is going to be. And then you can then also calculate lots of different scenarios. If it's not occupied for X amount of months, what's my level going to be? And you can also start factoring all kinds of contingencies.
Yeah.
So you can build it on an absolute worst case scenario. Yeah. You can build it on a best case scenario. You can see where you can sit in the middle. If you are starting, just start with one. You don't have to go out and build a portfolio of 100 immediately.
So find a deal, find an opportunity.
Yeah. I find your niche.
Okay. What does that mean?
Find your niche. Is buy-to-let your thing? Okay. Do you want to be hands-on? Do you want to be hands-off?
Yeah.
What strategies do you want to be? Do you want to be the portfolio analyst? Do you want to be the developer?
Yeah.
Which one suits your? Because every niche is, I believe, suited to certain personalities.
Okay.
If you're not great at dealing with people, dealing with tenants will drive you up the wall.
Yeah. You got to understand your own personality. What about someone that's maybe got 1 or 2 houses, they're renting them out, but they want to sort of take the next step? What would you advise for them?
So have a look at how they're performing. Have a look at where they are. Now, if you haven't got the cash to physically invest, perhaps look at those 2.
Yeah.
And perhaps leverage against those 2. I'm not suggesting that you go to leverage to the hills.
Yeah.
But if you've got a bit of equity and it's going to allow you to use those funds safely and wisely.
Yeah. And what you've learned.
Create a calculate. Don't take the equity out and go and buy a car.
Yeah.
I see too many people do that.
Yeah.
They've built a bit of equity to go, we're going to buy a Ferrari or we're going to lease a Ferrari.
Yeah.
No point. Because in essence, that's very expensive finance.
Yeah.
Use the equity to buy another cash flowing asset.
Yeah.
Don't do it to buy a liability.
Yeah. I mean, we like cars. It's not about flashy cars. I think if you can buy a vehicle and any asset that will keep its value or appreciate, then fine. I'm past the point of buying a car now that I buy for 100K and in 2 years' time it's worth 45.
Yeah.
We'll leave that there.
Are you looking at that from an accountant's point of view? Are you looking at it from...
I'm looking at it from my life's point of view. I had a Range Rover, I bought it for 105, I sold it for 65. 18 months later, 2 years later, just because the market hit at that point. Luckily, I now understand if you've got the right contacts and you understand the right vehicles to buy and you buy at the right time. Like I bought my 911 and I had a Turbo S. I bought that for 105 and sold it for 108.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Like it can be done. You can buy a car, run around in it. It can be done.
Does it
not waste money?
Okay, can I ask you some questions there?
Yeah.
Because does that not take the fire to some stuff? Because not everything's... A friend of mine said, Arsh, should I buy this? And I said, is it going to make money? They said, no, it's not going to make money. I said, is it going to bring you some joy?
Yeah.
And they go, yes. I said, can you appreciate to lose the depreciation?
Yeah.
And they go, over a period of time, yes. I said, do it. Because let's face it, go back to your point, life is also for living.
Yeah.
If we look at it from a spreadsheet point of view, we will never buy all the stuff.
That's a very good point. I didn't want these podcasts to be too overly, this is what you do to optimize your business.
I feel like what it was, you've got to live.
As long as you can afford to spend that money and you can afford to lose the depreciation.
Businesses will come and go. And what my wife always says to me is, don't forget to live.
Yeah.
Because you've only got one chance of this.
Yeah.
Businesses, if that one doesn't happen, a little will prop up next month.
Or take holidays, spend the money. An extravagant holiday to Dubai. I mean, the kids obviously still preferred Mallorca, but I loved it. It was unbelievable. The people that we met, the restaurants we went to, the things that we did. And if, I guess for some reason for holidays, I never look at X amount on a holiday as a waste because it's an experience. I'll tell you the reason I had it is because I got that Porsche. It was costing me nearly $2,000 a month because I was taking money out, getting taxed on it as a deal end, and then paying it personally because it's an unreasonable car to have as a work car.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, well, I'm only driving it once a week to take the kids out in it. It's cost me £500 per drive. It's the rationalization.
I'm smiling at this because I tried to come here today, my Aston Martin.
Yeah.
I've got Aston Martin DBS. Went to the garage to start it because I'm broke for a month. Battery's dead.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? How crazy is that? I've got a car that I can't even drive. And then if you look at it, and then again, you've started looking at it from an accountant's point of view.
Yeah.
Now you're calculating
if I miss every day. Yeah.
Exactly. You look at it as £500 per month. And if you do it on that basis, you'll never enjoy the asset.
No. I think you have to flip it and say, okay, well, it's costing you that much, but you're paying down the capital. How much is it actually costing you? And if you looked at that portion in reality, I bought it for 105, I sold it for 108. So it probably only cost me 2 or 3K in interest that year. And that was worth it. So I think my mindset slightly changed because I've got 2 Teslas, as you can see.
Yeah.
I went in my buddy's M3 Performance, which I loved. And those cars are going up in value because they're V8. They're not going to make them anymore. Same thing with the last V12 Ferrari. Probably same thing with your DBS. That'll start going up in value.
I don't know what Ferraris, they're still making them all that. They're still making
they're making them, but they're not going to make that one anymore.
Yeah.
But I think if you can garage a car anyway, what we're saying is enjoy your life. You've got to enjoy it. We're saying enjoy your life.
Yeah.
But I would say you could still have a petrol head car, for example.
Yeah.
And be more clever about the one that you pick.
Yeah.
I will say a hybrid Ferrari that's going to depreciate. Go and pick the V8 that's going to hold our garage hit or put a car cover on it, keep it in good condition, put a PPF cover over it so the paint won't stay.
Yeah.
So then you can have your fun and go on experiences, have nice holidays, make money, not just to take everything out and buy the next property, but take some of it out and create some experiences.
No one wants to go to the graveyard saying, I wish I worked another, I wish I worked harder.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go to the graveyard saying, I had a great life.
Yeah.
Had a great life. I had great people around me that actually enjoyed it. So,
and what does that look like for you then? Because for me, that would be fulfilling my business potential, but also...
I don't think I'll ever fulfill my business potential. When I say, and I say this really randomly, because going back to my analogy, that once I've done that deal, there will be something else.
Okay, then forget about fulfilling potential then. Being proud of what I've achieved in my business.
I'm really proud of what I achieved.
The detriment, but not at the detriment of my main priority, which is father and husband.
Yeah, no, father and husband comes top of the priority. But for me, if I'm going to be open, my first love is my business.
Yeah.
My first love is my business. The fact that I bought it back from the graveyard. Yeah. The graveyard where they were pretty much burying my coffin. Where everyone said, you know what, Arsh, you've got no chance of bringing this back. For me, that's got to be the biggest accolade and the biggest achievement. Yeah. And it's, I suppose, and that's, I'll carry that in through business full. So what's the, Arsh, no way you can do that.
Yeah.
I have to make it a mission to do it.
It sounds like, and I had a read your book, but I'm going to go on and get it because I think that it will be really inspirational for people to have that information either before, during, or after they go through something hard, which they will do, to show that this is how you dealt with it and you can come back from it and you can use it as a positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really tough times, but really proud of what I've done since. Yeah, and now you're living a life. You've got an amazing family, 3 businesses running. And to me, when you turn up this morning with a big smile on your face, it looks like you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying life. I've got a tough couple of months with one of the projects, but yeah, short term, for the long term, you have to go through short term pain to appreciate long term happiness. That's it.
Well, thank you for joining me, buddy.
Thank you for
We've been friends for a long time. Hopefully, this is going to restart a bit more of our personal friendship.
Absolutely. Well, it's kept saying that we're going to meet up for a long while.
Yeah. And now we're trying not to drink might be some sort of 0% beer when we've turned our days over. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you guys for watching and listening to episode 3 of Founder Stories. Is there anything you want to say before we?
No, well, if anyone needs any help, feel free to reach out. Do you mind if
how can people get in touch?
So best way is, can I do a couple of plugs?
Sure.
So I've got a podcast that it's called The Property Rebel. The name kind of appreciates what I do. You can find it on all podcasts or if you just want to go to my website, which is arshelahi.com. And on there we've got a contact page, feel free. And I'm happy to extend it. So if anyone wants a conversation, just say that you've heard or listened to this podcast, then I'm happy to give you almost like some time where we can have some one-on-one time on the phone.
Awesome. Thank you, Arsh. I really appreciate that. So I'll put all the links in the description to this episode so you can get in touch with Arsh. And for now, thanks for joining us and we'll see you in the next episode of Founder Stories.